Hello everyone, Mr. Storky here. Welcome back to Disney Speedstorm. Today we are continuing on with the season tour of Inside Out. And if you could, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because it does help us out as we head to the train of thought. Now, I went out of my way and I decided to go and level up both Fear and Sadness because I wanted to use them a bit more in the races compared to other characters, because it is the Inside Out season. But if you could, again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because it does help us out. And we are actually entering the Aries circuit because I am beyond nervous about the copyright on this one. I'm going to just really turn down our volume real fast because I'm a bit nervous. So you're just going to mainly hear me talk. So, sorry, I'm making sure I keep a note of that. 34. Let's get to the race. I am beyond nervous about YouTube copyright on this one. So, yeah, we're going to lower the volume on the game. Yeah, it's been very evil onto us for some random reason. I really don't know. It was like, oh, hey, here's a copyright strike for the song that I hadn't been getting for a while. That's why one of our videos was trimmed, because I wanted to avoid the copyright strike. And now I'm beyond nervous because, well, we're going to be playing it here, and it's going to happen again. I'm not even going to play the music, even if it ends up not playing it, because, well, I'm beyond nervous about copyright. I mean, that was kind of scummy of them for all of a sudden be like, this is a copyright thing. I'm also kind of listening to the music being like, did I miss anything up? But okay, we're going with Anger again because we have to really play Anger. They're not even playing it. I swear something must have happened like with them not being able to use that version of the song or something. But again, I'm just above and beyond nervous about them coming after me. This music isn't horrible, but I know you're like, oh, way glowed in, MH. But it's just like, I'm afraid of the copyright strike. I am beyond nervous about it, so I would be afraid too. But anywho, let's continue on. Well, behind us, because why not? Come on, Anger. We can do this race. And Anger's doing pretty well. I got him up to level, I want to say he was 16 when we started this part. But that's not a horrible part to start things out. I can hear the song too. Thank goodness I muted it. Yeah, as soon as I started talking, I'm like, oh, I can hear it. Because they're playing the song too. And I'm like, I do not want to be hit by the evil, evil copyright strike. Because that would be, again, something really awful to need to deal with. But, again, because I like to get monetized for this stuff. I like that you guys watch it, and I appreciate it, and I spend time out of my day to do this stuff. So I like to think, I don't know, I like to get compensation. I know a lot of YouTubers that do a lot of things for their work, and it does surprise me that copyright reasons are the reason they can't do a lot of the stuff. I'm looking at you, Star Wars. I mean, oh my goodness, George Lucas songs are not George Lucas songs, John Williams scores are very notorious for their copyright strikes on YouTube. And it amazes me that a lot of the Lego games videos to be made because of all the scores, because a lot of those are copyrighted. I uploaded an Indiana Jones video. Indiana Jones was fine for the longest time until like recently. There's like no copyright. But anywho, we did level up. And as soon as this is done with this area, we're going to move our volume back up. There we go. I do apologize about it, but again, it's just like I'm beyond nervous about the copyright strike. So if you're like all of a sudden like, why do I hear music? That's probably why. I hope that worked out. I'm not actively seeing any signal on there. Okay, I'm seeing some bars, so that at least lets me know that was happening, but I'm really worried about getting the Novrock one. Anywho, the plan is when we get up there in the separate paths, we're going to go up and then down and then middle. Hopefully, it looks like there's going to be no more Hercules at the moment, but this is the scare floor with any character. Let's go with Sadness. Someone just like very much different. Because, well, why not? We have to activate 5 manual boosts. Not a horrible amount that we have to do. But yeah, I do. Again, I really like to acknowledge. I'm sorry about that, but we're gonna move on right along. If you could be sure to subscribe. I keep on mentioning this a lot because we have D23 happening in a couple of weeks, which is gonna be really fun to take a look at. We're going to do I'm going to do my reservations tomorrow, as early as possible, like right when the queue is available. so I can set my reservations. We have a couple of plans on what we're gonna do for the panels, but I won't know until like the day I'm flying out, which is not helpful. But anywho, let's get to the race. Let's go. Take that, Daisy. Hopefully my lucky one, which is The Simpsons, will happen. I did not mean to throw that one, and I apologize, Sadness. That makes me really sad. Sadness. I agree. It does make me a little bit sad, but I hope they're going to be at least generous with some of them. I really am hopeful we get our lucky one, which again is The Simpsons. We've been able to go to almost all the Simpsons panels, and this year the Simpsons panel is going to be with Bob's Burgers and Futurama. And maybe I should do what I did with X-Men 97. I wasn't really watching X-Men 97 weekly. You can probably tell by the channel because I really didn't review every episode. But I basically just binged it in like a day. And like I think I could catch up on Futurama. I'm on the Saturday Morning Fun Pit episode, if you're wanting to know what episode I'm on. And they're like 30-minute episodes. I watch it on Hulu. I am beyond nervous about the new ones. And that CDA truck has me a little bit concerned because there's been cop activity recently where I've been living. Well, there is a cop that lives here, and I hear sirens a lot at night. Occasionally I'll hear this evil, not evil, but really loud thing. One thing actually, I don't know what it was because it clearly wasn't a garbage truck. Unless our garbage truck came by like 3 times, then I'd be surprised. But it was like this thing sound like, why is this same person being here? It seemed a bit odd. Anywho, let's get to it. Sadness. She's just crying. I love her animation. But yeah, I'm going to try as much as I can to play as the Inside Out characters for this. So, yeah. That was done pretty well, Sadness. Correct, certain. But let's go for the twist and turn. And whoa! It didn't quite work out as well as I'd hope. But anyhow, as the more the CDA goes by, I actually kind of find it interesting that we're not hearing a lot of the Pixar music. But okay. Whee! And we just throw it behind us. Okay. Go. Come on, Sadness. We can get all the way up there if we could just try to believe. Which is good. Anyway, I think I've been really good about binging stuff recently, like binge watching it because, especially like cartoons. Not necessarily cartoons, but like short shows or like short half-hour shows. Because normally whenever I get off of work, I can knock like 3 out before I have to go to sleep for the next day of work. And that works out pretty well. I did that with Monsters at Work in their show, which I'm not going to talk about quite yet because I'm mentioning about that show for a bit. But the general rule of thumb, if you really want to know what I'm watching, follow me on TV Time and Letterboxd. I will show Letterboxd because I think it's a really fun app, and I do love just pulling it up after I see a movie. But anyway, Adrenaline Alley reached the top 3 with a Toy Story character. Let's go with Bo Peep because we don't normally play as Bo Peep. Again, I like playing as characters we don't normally get a chance to play as. It's just how my mind works. So, yeah, what is happening to? I don't know. I like to hear your comments below. Like, I have a general question, actually. Like, what's your favorite Pixar movie? Because, again, Inside Out 2 is doing pretty well. I'm happy it's doing well. It's a great movie. I'm a bit worried about these. I guess it proves that the boycott wasn't working. So apparently on Twitter there was like a planned boycott for Inside Out 2, not for like a political reason, just because they're like saying, "Oh, it's Pixar doing their sequel. We're not gonna go there because we want Pixar to do original stuff." And part of me is like, Pixar isn't like downright said they're not doing any more original stuff. The reason I'm not really, so I'm more in this defense camp of I don't really think Disney needs to be focusing on sequels like Walt Disney Animation, because Walt Disney Animation Studios have been doing well for years with not even doing sequels. And while they did do the direct-to-DVD sequels, those were the direct-to-DVD sequels. They weren't theatrical movies. Well, some of them are pretty good. I think, what's the good one I saw? I think some of the Aladdin ones are good, and definitely, oddly enough, Cinderella 3 is really good. I watched that because of what Nostalgia Critic said. And I rewatched Return to Neverland, and in all honesty, I did not hate it. It was just joyful, you know. It was just like, this is like Peter Pan. I like it. I didn't mind it. I need to watch Hook and the one with Jason Isaac as Peter Pan. Not Peter Pan, as Captain Hook. That would be a much different movie. Could you imagine Lucius as Peter Pan? That would be actually kind of interesting to watch. But anywho, where was I going with this? That is a good question. Walt Disney Animation shouldn't be really doing sequels. I'm not really looking forward to Moana 2. Like you might, I didn't really see the first Moana in theaters. That's why you didn't really see a review of it on the channel. We're working on it down the line. But my biggest concern is I don't want Disney to think that why is it very much glitching out of this race in particular? Like I'm really concerned. There's a lot of lagging going on, and I can't tell if it's because I'm drifting or what. This might be the laggiest lag that's ever lagged. But anyhow, I agree. What happened? Like, I'm seriously feeling the lag. But I don't really think I would like to see Disney go down the sequel path. Because it just wasn't their brand for the longest time. I think Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen 2 really changed that. Oh, there's 3 laps. I feel stupid. What else is new on me? But I think that Frozen 2 and Wreck-It Ralph 2 like kind of incorrectly propelled this thought process of Disney being like, we are sequels, and it really wasn't. That's one thing I really liked about Disney, Walt Disney Animation Studios, above a lot of the other animation studios, like especially not necessarily Leica, because Leica does some great stuff. Leica's very independent, but the likes of DreamWorks and Illumination and Pixar, the one thing that I felt like very much made Disney special is that they weren't very much doing sequels. They weren't like above doing series, because that's just silly. Look at what they did with Winnie the Pooh. But and Winnie the Pooh is also a rare exception because Winnie the Pooh was always kind of a franchise. But it always felt like they were moving towards the next big thing, and I very much think that the audience spoke. I think Wish and especially Strange Worlds helped them move in this direction. And it's such a shame because I really do think Strange Worlds was an interesting direction, not necessarily a good one, but it was different enough. I said in my review, like, I appreciate them going for a risk. The movie didn't pay off, but I'm glad they tried something new. And I'm always there. That's why I also like going to Pixar movies, because Pixar very much tries a lot of new stuff. And they do a good job at it. When Pixar does something new, I'm there. When they try one of their sequels, I'm fine with it too. Oh, we did upgrade a level. Cool. Oh, yes, the no Barack line. I'm not a big fan of that. There's nostalgia just hanging there. Don't mind me. Riley, credit card. I don't know where I was going with that. Riley stole a credit card. Again, I don't know where I'm going with this one. I'm going with Jasmine on this race because Jasmine's a great character to play as. But yeah, that's my main thoughts on it. And Pixar seems to be like the only company that, well, I don't necessarily want to say that because Illumination did Migration recently, but Illumination I think is doing the right things about doing original with sequel stuff, because they seem to want to use the sequel stuff to finance the independent stuff. So this is gonna sound a bit odd. Like they're making the stuff that everyone loves to make the new stuff. It's almost like a business in a weird way. I still love hearing the song, and I know it does make like the original stuff not as original anymore, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like I wouldn't suggest it. Like, we have not seen a sequel to Bug's Life probably for a reason. I bet Bug's Life was mainly used to fund. Oh, that's not necessarily true because I think there's a lot of problems with it. I went the wrong one. I openly acknowledge that. Is that I think ultimately what, and I don't even know how well financially it did, but I think Bug's Life was mainly used to help finance Toy Story 2. Whoop, wrong one. And definitely, especially like and maybe help Find Nemo Monsters Inc. Because if you look, I think it wasn't until Cars they didn't do a sequel, because they weren't doing a sequel for a while. Actually, the biggest break between sequels would probably be, correct me if I'm wrong, between Toy Story 2 and 1, there was no sequels. Yeah, that actually adds up. So maybe something changed when John Lasseter got in charge, and maybe Steve Jobs left, because there's definitely less sequels happening. And that's why I'm happy when stuff like Elemental gets made. I very much want Pixar, and I'm really curious to see what they do down the line, because we know about Elio, and we know about their musical Duck movie. I'm actually kind of intrigued about that, because DreamWorks never really... Not DreamWorks. Well, no, they did it with Trolls. DreamWorks did, not Disney, but the point is, I'm trying to make is, Pixar sequels... Oh, I did not realize I had to use 12 skills. I will go back through and do this race again. It's not a hard one to redo. I'll redo it. Where was I in my train of thought? I know it's hard when it happens. Sorry. Pixar never really has done musicals. Coco isn't a musical. I don't think it is. It doesn't follow the rules of a musical movie. It has music in them. However, the music is diegetic, and it is not you. Well, it does move the narrative, and it does move the narrative, but it's not about showing what the characters feel. In a weird way, that kind of makes sense. Like, I think, like, Little Mermaid is clearly a musical. Coco isn't. It's clearly two different beasts. Sorry, I'm just debating in my head. And people are going to be like, how dare you misanalyze Coco? It's like,
happy to go on an adventure.
What level do we get to be? Level 12. I want to be anger for this one.
This should be easy.
It just lets my soapbox go. Where is anger? Anger's all the way down here. I really wish they would change that instead of just going through the collection, because, again, that would leave the lower, a bit far behind. We're going with anger. But yeah, I am very curious, and Pixar has said they are still working on original content, like Elio, the Duck movie. And even Pete Docter said, like, recently in an interview, like, we're going to have another one after Pixar. Sorry, another one after Pixar? No, they said we're going to have another original Pixar after Toy Story 5. Which makes me think that's the Duck movie. And also, it was the only one that was kind of announced. I'm going to say until D23 where they're going to be like, nope, we're going to reveal the Duck movie. Anger? Nothing to say about this. Okay. I thought I equipped Angry Riley, but I don't... Oh, no, I clicked Bing Bong. My mistake. Yeah, there's no place we'd rather be. Speaking of unnecessary, what about that Lilo and Stitch remake that's coming to Disney Plus? Oh man, what a movie that's going to be. I am beyond not looking forward to it. I'm happy they got the original David to reprise his role. Not necessarily reprise his role. But I'm just like beyond nervous about it, because it's just like I didn't really want this. Lilo and Stitch doesn't really work well in live action, but I'd be surprised because they're also remaking How to Train Your Dragon into live action, which I don't know how I feel about that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Asher Angel was cast as Hiccup. You know, Billy Batson, and I still think his best movie is Shazam. I'm gonna constantly be mad at Shazam 2 for ruining the legacy of the first Shazam, because that is a great movie. It's also a good Christmas movie. I love watching Christmas movies, and I really wish more superhero movies would be Christmas stuff. You know, like I'm hoping like Eternals is a Christmas movie, though I can just constantly watch it during Christmas. Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie, and Hawkeye is a Christmas series. And the rumor is going around that there's going to be another Hawkeye series set around Christmas, which is going to be interesting. But we'll know after SDCC, which is next week. Unless a massive leak comes out. Like, oh, that trademark leak? Oh my goodness, that was really, really much hurting. Because everyone was like, oh no. Also, I think the stuff about Superior Iron Man, the Tom Cruise stuff, really did hurt a lot. I was watching one video where they were talking about the trademarks that were announced, and they're like, the Infinity Saga? I don't know what that means. It's probably just going to be another group of movies that they can just do that's outside of it, just like an excuse, like, you know, the Tom Cruise Superior Iron Man movie. And I'm going to constantly hate the internet for making that thing. Well, I think it'd be cool I don't necessarily see Tom Cruise as Iron Man in the long run. So, okay, I understand the thought about Tom Cruise as Iron Man, and I've had this constant debate about this, and it's just that Tom Cruise, all of his characters very much play the same. They're very much the same. Tom Cruise is one of the few actors where he's just playing himself in a different movie. The only exception of that is Collateral and that World War II movie he was in, Tropic Thunder. Those are the only two movies I think he went above and beyond in playing that. Tom Cruise is so above Iron Man that people would just see Tom Cruise role. Whereas Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man, perfectly cast as it, so it worked. Anyway, I'll be quiet. I know people are like, shut up. This is what I do. I can rant about movies for a long time. It's a gift, really. Or a curse, depending on who you ask. Probably my parents would say it's a curse. Yeah. They're like, knew we should have gotten rid of him.